What's the deal, everybody? It's your boy J Money from Royal Family, and this is another edutainment news alert. But before we go any further, we need you to do a few things. We need you to hit that subscribe button. We need you to hit that like button and drop them comments in the chat. Your opinion matters to us. We're frequently dropping new content. And if you want us to react to new videos, remember, hit us up in IG at RFMBRS. You dig? Peace. All right, y'all, let's get right into it. Jada Pinkett is still on it, and we're going to cover it. We're going to follow it, okay, because this is the attention that she wants, so we're going to give it to her. So without further ado, let's get right into this interview. Make sure you hit them comments, hit that like, and subscribe, right? I said hit them comments. Oh, yeah, you can do that. All that makes sense. Let's go.
Pinkett Smith, our wide-ranging, revealing conversation made a lot of headlines. We talked about her journey from the streets of Baltimore to the heights of Hollywood, that incident at the Oscar, her battle with severe depression, her relationship with Will Smith, and after all of it, Jada says she's finally feeling worthy. That's the title of her new book. It's out tomorrow. It's an incredible read. It's packed with so much. So glad to see you
So
again.
it's out today.
So after we had our
yesterday.
long sit down, this is stuff you've been carrying with you for many, many, many years, and it's out there.
Yeah.
So as we sit here today in a reflection of, was it the right thing to reveal, to talk about everything? Do you feel like you made the right choice?
Absolutely. I think at some point, I had to talk about my journey, And I think just like we were talking about, I think there's so many of us who,
at the expense of someone else's happiness,
hold so much, specifically women, and feeling like we're going to be criticized. We're going to be
Can't say anything.
judged. You can't say anything.
Yeah.
And the beautiful part about it is like this whole journey, as difficult as it's been, has just brought Will and I closer in such an authentic way. Instead of trying to be a thing, it's like just tearing all that down and finding what's true between us.
Wow.
And it's been beautiful. It's been difficult.
It's been difficult.
But beautiful.
Because one thing people were really still concerned about or confused about really was, okay, hang on. They've been divorced in theory, but not on paper.
Yes.
So all this has brought y'all closer, right? Taking a knife and digging into Will's pretty much telling him that you've been in love with another man the whole time. You got married in 97. Pac died in 96. He was in jail at 93 to 95-ish or 92 to 94-ish or whatever it was. That's crazy.
They were not together, but kind of pretended they were together. So I had trouble articulating exactly why that was. So now that you've had more time, why was that?
We really needed time to get solidified because at the end of the day, Will and I love each other. We had to really figure out what we wanted before we went into the world to say what was going on, because we were in such, we were just kind of in this very fragile place. And so now we're just super solid.
Yeah.
And so now I can actually talk about what the journey has been.
So Will talked to the New York Times or gave a statement, and this is what he says.
So before we hear what Will says, his answer, because we did see the video that I posted recently, which was yesterday, of how acted out that was. That was a great family moment right there, huh? So now they're closer together, right? Now through all that stuff, we're closer together, which is possible. And yes, they probably still do love each other because they had kids. Okay, cool, but not that way. I don't think you don't love nobody if you continuously are depriving them, dissecting their heart, their soul. You just want everything. You want this man to feel, at the end of the day, you just want this man just to, oh my God, I just want to take his soul. But I still love him.
We'll put it up on the screen. This is from the Times itself. The memoir, Will Smith said in an email, kind of woke him up. She'd lived the life more on the edge than he had realized, and that she is more resilient, clever, and compassionate than he'd understood. And this is the quote. When you've been with someone for more than half your life, he wrote, a sort of an emotional blindness sets in, and all you can do, and you can all too easily lose your sensitivity to their hidden nuances and subtle beauties. It sounds like an emotional blindness. He didn't see you. Is that kind of what it was, that he...
I think, yeah, that's so universal in relationships. He didn't see me and I didn't see him, right? Yeah. And so we kind of had to go our separate ways to see each other, you know? Because when you're in a relationship and you're kind of just pulling at that person to be something for you, you refuse to see them. And so we had to go our separate ways to really look at ourselves and see the blocks that we had in order to find a way back.
One part that was very sensitive with you.
But you was in an entanglement with your son's friend. That's not really going your separate ways. And according to August Alsina, he had a conversation about to Will. So y'all wasn't going your separate ways if that needed to be happening. Make this make sense, y'all. Please.
You, and it was very touching to me that you'd gone through it, but you talked about the idea that you were maybe going to kill yourself.
Yeah.
That you felt like you were not, your kids would have been better off, Will would have been better off, everyone would have been better off without you.
Yeah.
What did your kids think when they saw that part of your story told in that way?
Well, I've talked to them about it.
Like, so they know.
Yeah, they knew. They knew before the interview came out. But I was talking to my mother the other day, and everybody knew that I was very unhappy, but just couldn't figure out why. Because everybody thought how I thought. You've got everything. What is wrong with you? Because I didn't know what was wrong with me either. Because you have to remember, during that time, no one was really talking about mental health.
Yeah.
And so I didn't understand, and nobody around me understood.
The other thing people asked me was, you talked about how you were at the brink, and then you took something and it changed you, and it was ayahuasca for you. Ayahuasca really was...
That was the turning point.
So that in and of itself turned you from the brink of suicide.
And I never had a suicidal thought again. Now, in saying that, ayahuasca is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I want to be very clear about that. You have to really have someone who's very trained to guide you through that. It was a very extreme, situation.
I have somebody you could take it with that you can go through that little journey on and potentially fuck. Ayahuasca, yes, I'm very familiar with it, and she's exactly right. It's not for everybody. All right. Don't play with stuff that you have no knowledge about, y'all. Don't do that. All right. This is her journey.
Situation for me, but I swear I'm so grateful that I went through it, because in 4 days, I have 4 excruciating nights, but on the other side, I never...
And you never had a suicidal thought since then?
Never.
The title of your book is Worthy, and you...
I'm not going to even touch that, you know what I'm saying, about that suicide stuff. You know, I'm glad she didn't do that. So we don't even touch that. We strictly talk about the entertainment stuff. That's not entertainment. Or entertaining, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we glad that she didn't do that, because Jada Pinkett does have a lot of fans. She has done some great things, and she got money herself. She doing her thing. So we don't want that type of stuff to happen. We just, let's keep it entertainment.
So today, as we sit here on this couch,
I feel worthy.
Tell me.
Yeah, I just feel so good. I've been through so much, and when you can really look at your life, and we think that life is supposed to be perfect. And when life isn't perfect, we feel like, oh, then I'm not worthy. Then something's wrong with me. And that's not what it's about. We get challenged with life in order to keep building our self-worth, to keep finding our greatness, you know? And so that's what the book is about. It's about that journey.
If you find another great love, or if Will finds another great love.
There's no finding another great love. And I think that's the point. It's like, we are in a place now that we are in a deep healing space, and we are really concentrating on healing the relationship between us.
So it may not be the divorce on paper anymore?
There's no divorce on paper.
I mean, not on paper. There might not be a divorce in theory anymore?
Yeah, no, we really have been working hard.
Oh.
See?
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. We might
I was trying to take.
Well, wait.
Totally missed that on the whole. That's the whole thing.
So wait. Just so I'm 100% clear, you were divorced, not on paper, but now we might be a point where we're back together.
We are working very hard at bringing our relationship together.
Back to a marriage again.
Back to a life partnership.
When she's ready.
Yes, because here's the thing about
Tell me.
husband-wife marriage for me, my healing process. I came into that with very specific ideas, right? Very specific ideas that were blocks to me just seeing Will as who he is. He can't be this perfect, idealized husband.
Yes, of course.
I have to be able to accept him for the human that he is. He accepts me for the human that I am. And we want to love each other there.
Okay. So you might like live in the same house and have the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's the only part. That's the only part in the special that I felt like got lost.
Well, guess what? It is found. We found it today. Jada, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. You guys check out the book Worthy. It's got a lot of life lessons in it. Beautiful.
All right, y'all. Let's get right into it. So let me say this. See, now this is a totally different side of Jada that we haven't really seen, right? Because she's not talking about Tupac or nothing like that. And it seems that she's only answering the questions that they're asking, okay? So I do want to commend her off this interview far as not really digging in Will's heart. Kind of, but not really. So, I guess, man, how do y'all feel about this interview? I think this is a lot better than the other ones, you know what I'm saying, where she talking about Tupac and talking about how she sold crack and all these extra things, man. This is the Jada that we want to hear from, or not even still, but at the same time, hear about her healing, you know, because women want to hear about the healing. Okay, you seem like you went through a black hole at one point, and you're out of it. That's what the women need to hear. They don't just need to hear, as far as video clips of the negative stuff that we're gonna talk about. However, you already know I got some backlash that I gotta provide. I don't believe that they're gonna get back together. Our Will's gonna just sit back and let me just jump back in it. I don't believe that after all this. And if he does, he's the super sucker. All right, super sucker. All right. It's not about having thick skin. It's just about living your true happiness and living your life. And that wouldn't be true. That wouldn't be real. We gotta wake up sometimes and realize, dang, this ain't a dream. This is real. The person that I might be with, or the person that is for me, is not gonna do these things and do that and treat you this way and publicly humiliate you. Bro, he slapped the hell out of Chris Rock, yo. Pretty much on your behalf. Like, we're not gonna do that though, bro. So far as the healing and stuff and her not committing suicide, that's definitely dope. This is a different side. It is when the other stuff start coming out. That's what I don't be respecting. You dig? Next, J. Cole. J. Cole. They said he is he shooting shots at Jada and Will or what? Let's hear it.
Bad news. They want the tires to be biodegradable, and we can't change the.
Y'all know I don't like these. Hold on.
I want a real love, dark skinny and big look. That leave a toothbrush as a crib love. And you ain't gotta wonder whether that's your kid love. Nigga, I don't want no bitch for reality shows. How to touch your reality hoes. I'm Hollywood, bringing back 5 or 6 souls. Fucking only kick it to the dope, nigga, you know.
Okay. So let's say that again.
I want a real love, dark skinny and big look. That leave a toothbrush as a crib love. And you ain't gotta wonder whether that's your kid love. Nigga, I don't want no bitch for reality shows. How to touch your reality hoes. I'm Hollywood, bringing back.
What y'all think? I think that's purpose. Cole is a smart person. He knows what he did right there. Yeah. You know what you did right there. Yeah, I know what he did right there. That's funny. All right, so they said they coming with receipts, man. Of Jada, and they say it's all lies. Let's hear it.
Jada.
These ads, y'all, is killing me today. Okay, all right.
Have the timeline to prove it, and I'm literally in the middle of moving. That's why I look raggedy, but I cannot handle these fucking lies anymore. Jada is currently on her Pay Attention to Me tour, and she is making all these wild claims, including that Tupac proposed to her while he was at Rikers. Really? The math isn't mathing, so let's take a look. Tupac was convicted of sexual assault charges on February 8th, 1995. From there, he was sent to Rikers Prison, only to be transferred less than a month later to Clinton Correctional Facility. And she specifically said she went to see him. This was not on the phone.
Book when I go to see him in Rikers, probably one of the more painful parts, seeing him there, the condition that he was in, and having to leave him there.
Cool. So prior to going into Rikers, Tupac already had a girlfriend named Keisha. He proposed to Keisha, her words, in a September 2011 interview. He proposed to Keisha before he even went into prison. They were already engaged. They got married in April. And in the time that he got sentenced and was taken to prison, Keisha actually moved closer to be by him and be by the prison and saw him on a near daily basis.
When he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers.
So you're telling me that in the 3 to 4 week window that he was at Rikers, engaged to another woman who had moved closer to the prison and was there almost every day, Tupac proposed to Jada. But hey, Jess, you might be saying to yourself, Tupac wasn't known to be a one-woman man. He was no angel. Fair enough. Let's see where Jada was during February of 1995, which was, as we've already established, the only time she would have been able to see Tupac at Rikers since he was only there for less than a month. You see, Jada had already met Will Smith in 1994 on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Will Smith was married, so nothing happened between them. But in February of 1995, Will Smith was served divorce papers by his wife. 5 days later, on February 19th, Will called Jada and said, "Are you single?" And she said, "Yep." Will said, "We're together now." Jada said, "Cool." And she immediately flew to LA. She flew so immediately that when he called her, she was in Maryland at a brand new house she bought, and she never spent a single night in her new house. That's how immediately she flew to LA. Jada, when in all that time did you visit Tupac at Rikers and get this fucking proposal? And for the record, Keisha and Tupac stayed married for about 10 months. They got their marriage annulled about 4 or 5 months after Tupac was released from prison. He was bailed out by Suge Knight. It wasn't long after that he met Kidada Jones. Kidada Jones is the daughter of legendary Quincy Jones. Jada looks a little recognizable. You may know her sister, Rashida Jones, who played Karen on The Office. Jada and Tupac were living together and engaged when Tupac was shot and killed. Jada was the one that was there with him at the hospital the night he died. Jada was handed his bloody clothes. She was the one who told him, "We all love you," before he slipped into a coma and never woke up. Keisha spoke with Tupac several days before he died because even though their marriage was annulled, they still remained good friends. And I can't help but notice that all of the women who are actually part of his life in a meaningful way are the ones that have just kept quiet. They've kept silent. They've kept their memories to themselves and not tried to use a dead man as their limelight. And the person who's squawking about him the most is making claims that can't even be verified and don't make sense from the perspective of a verifiable timeline.
I see why we love you.
He needed a rock. Because of our friendship and because of everything we had been through together, he just wanted to feel that solidified foundation.
There's so many people in that position don't have support.
Right.
None at all.
None. You know?
And you got the best.
He did get the best, but not from Jada, because per Will Smith's own words, that him and Jada were pretty much humping all over the world. They were traveling constantly from the first 3 months they were together all over the world. So Tupac did get some great support, I imagine, from his wife, who moved closer to be with him and visited him every day. And why do I care? Because I'm Gen X. And like any good Gen X person, I grew up on Tupac. We all remember this going down. We all remember where we were when we heard that Tupac got shot or that he died. We all had this fucking hat from Poetic Justice, walking around looking like newsies, slinging newspaper about the Great Depression and FDR. And
All right, so there you go. How y'all feeling about that? Do y'all agree or disagree with her? I mean, she kind of has her facts right, and she threw facts at me that I forgot about, but I told y'all in my other video that once again, her words could have made a blemish on Tupac's name, and far as him like being a real man and holding down the person that he was in love with. All right, that's what I say. You know, to sell a few books. That's what I said in another video. To sell a few books, this is what you're gonna do. See, this is that's the other side of the actress of Jada. She's playing on that actress role. And even in that interview, which I did watch, you know, she's about to start crying and stuff, and you know, she holds back her tears and all that stuff. Come on, man, we gotta wake up, bro. Fellas, you might be into something that you probably don't want to be in. You dig? This is probably the time to really look in the mirror. Have that conversation with that other person after you talk to yourself in the mirror. It shouldn't just always be about the kids. Y'all gotta be happy too. But this ain't the way to do it. Has anybody like haven't we witnessed enough bad marriages aside from celebrities? Just think about in your own family. If you've not witnessed one, then this is definitely not something you need to be paying attention to far as Jada. Because this is something that possibly could ruin your whole perspective. But if you know the bad marriages in your family, think about that. Think about how unhappy you knew they were when you was around them. I mean, and then when that other one wasn't around, maybe how happy they was. Or the person when they finally get rid of them, how much peace and happiness that they have. It's all about your peace. Preserve your peace. There's no need to be in a shell and not really being your true selves and hiding your identity. Pretty much as she said that she had to do. I don't know, man. How y'all feeling about all this, man? We gonna keep following it. Am I gonna listen to the book? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe a few clips or something. But it's been your boy J Money. Till next time. Peace.